The moment that changed everything. It was late, well past midnight, and I was 20, juggling Uber rides while studying at university. After a long day, I told myself that this would be my last ride. It was only a 10-minute drive from my apartment, so I hit accept. The ride request came under the name Emma. When I pulled up to the address, a man in his 50s stepped in. He looked around, almost like he was scanning for something, before he said, "Yes, I'm going to meet my date. My wife Emma booked the ride for me." At first, I didn't think much of it. He went on to tell me about how he'd been talking to a woman for weeks online, and tonight was the first time she'd agreed to meet in person. It seemed odd to me because he just mentioned his wife had booked the ride, but I was too tired to dig deeper. The night was dragging, and I just wanted to get home. After 15 minutes, we arrived at a house that looked too quiet, too isolated. A girl stood at the front door, waiting for him. She looked young, really young. I hesitated, my mind racing. Something wasn't right. I kept my car idling, pretending to wait for a new ride request, but I couldn't shake the unease building in my chest. I watched him, guiding her inside with too much force, like he had to pull her in against her will. That's when it hit me. This girl couldn't have been older than 16. My sister's age. The weight of it made my stomach churn. Guilt hit me hard. The girl looked terrified, her body language screaming that she didn't want to go inside. And then, she cried. I knew I couldn't stay quiet. I couldn't ignore it. I sped off, heart pounding, and dialed 911. My hands were shaking, fear clawing at me. What was he planning? I couldn't imagine what he'd do to her in that house. When the police arrived, they found her sobbing, her fear evident, and arrested the man without hesitation. As they pulled him away, I learned that he and his wife had been involved in similar cases before, dangerous ones. Both were arrested that night. I didn't regret it for a second. In fact, I felt a weight lift off my chest. I had to make that call. It could have been my sister. It could have been anyone. And that's when I realized sometimes you have to trust your gut, no matter the consequences.